Hi guys, this is day 5 of my 30-day healing challenge and welcome back. The overarching theme for today is forgiveness. And it's not about forgiving other people, that's a different thing. It's more about forgiving yourself. So personally, I feel like I am holding on to so many different things from my past, and I'm like, I am the person that's not letting it go. I'm the person that's not forgiving myself. And if you don't forgive yourself, you're not really able to move forward. Because at the end of the day, these things happened already. Like, there's no changing it. We can't go back in time and just change it and just make things better. It doesn't really work that way. The best thing to do in our current situation is to just reflect, learn from our mistakes, learn from these experiences, and then move on. There is one specific fear that I want to focus on, and it's something that I think about on a daily basis, and not very, 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 very healthy. Not healthy. Why do I say so many varies? But anyways, it is not healthy at all. And it is the fear of wasting my life. So I have actually watched a lot of videos that are titled like, watch this if you think you've wasted your life. And I'm like, click, yes, me. I feel like I really haven't done anything in my life. And hear me out, the rational part of my brain, albeit very, very little, it's a very small part of my brain that's kind of rational. So the rational part of my brain is saying, dude, like, you're so young. Your life literally just started. Like, dude, it's fine. And it's also saying, like, you do realize that you don't really start your adult life, like living until you're like well into your 20s, right? Like, you do realize that, right? And the thing is, I know I register that information, but it just does not click. It does not click. Whenever I think about this and the rational part of my brain is trying to convince me that I'm okay, I tend to compare myself with other people, especially those who are much more successful than I am and younger. So everybody knows BTS, right? One day, a couple of months ago, or maybe it was like a year ago, I'm not really sure. My concept of time is just deteriorating. So when I saw that news article, it was about one of the members, and he recently bought his parents a really nice house and like a really nice car worth millions. And I, instead of just taking it at face value, I was like, why can't I give my parents a house? Like, why can't I make $1 million and give it to my parents? Like, what is wrong with me? I went into this downward spiral because a member of the most famous boy band bought his parents a house and a car. It does not make it make sense. It does not make sense at all. But that's where I was. I started crying. Like actual tears. I was like sobbing. I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm a failure. And my mom walks in and she's like, what is going on? And she's like, concerned because her daughter is sobbing on the floor. All of a sudden she's like, the fuck? So she walks in and she's like, what's going on? How can I help you? And I tell her, I'm like, this guy from BTS bought his parents a house and I feel like a failure because I haven't bought you guys. I don't have the money to buy you guys a house. And my mom, she just stares and then she bursts out laughing and she's like, are you kidding me? This is why you're this is why you're sobbing? What are you doing? And so I look up at her, I get really confused, and I'm like, why are you laughing? Like, what's going on? And then she's like, all right, get your shit together. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so she sits me down and she's like, yes, a car, a really nice house, who wouldn't want those things? But that's not important. It's really not important. Because, okay, let's think about it this way. Tomorrow, miraculously, you have $15 million in your bank account. You can afford to buy us a house and a car and like a really nice house for you and do whatever you want with your money. Do you think that you're gonna be happy? Do you think that this feeling is gonna go away? And me, being the idiot that I was, I just looked up at her and I said, well, I think so, yeah. And she just looked at me and she was just like, no. It's not about the materialistic goods. It's not about gifting somebody a house and a car. It's not about how much money you have in your bank account. It's not about what you think success actually is. It's the mindset. The only thing that matters is the way that you perceive things. Yes, it's really nice to have these things, but they're not going to make you feel happy. They're not going to make you feel like you're completely successful and happy and content with your life. No, that comes from within. And you have to figure that out. I realized that she is 100% right. I deal with this kind of comparison and just this general feeling of dread almost always still. But I'm trying to remind myself that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of my life, and I can do something completely new tomorrow, and it's never going to be too late. We're all on such different walks of life that it's literally incomparable. Like, you cannot compare this person's life to that person's life because they are going in two separate directions, in two different, walks. One person is going through a field, one person is going on the sidewalk. Like, it does not matter. There's no one way to live because we're all diverse. We all have different ways, and that should be respected and celebrated. To be honest, it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges, except not really, because it's more like, I don't even know, like comparing apples to different types of leaves. Like, they're kind of similar. Yeah, they're both nature, I guess, but like, you can't really compare them. They're completely different. Okay, I'm gonna be real. There's probably a never-ending list of all of the things that I need to address in my life, but we're not gonna go there today because that is a little bit too much and I'm not ready for that. But if I had to pick a couple, probably at the top of the list would be holding myself to very unrealistic expectations and then getting disappointed when I don't meet those expectations, and then immediately faulting myself and blaming myself for not meeting those expectations, which were already incredibly out of reach. So another thing that I personally really want to just move on from is the fact that I am a people pleaser. I'm working on trying to just, stand my ground, just be who I am, and be okay with some people not liking me, but it's so hard, seriously. The saddest part of people pleasing is the fact that you kind of lose yourself. You lose your identity, you lose, your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions, and just generally who you are as a person, because you are catering to other people's lives and other people's definitions of life and success and whatnot. And you're not really being true to who you are, so you tend to lose that part. The best way to forgive yourself and the best way to just move on from your past and like what happened is, well, number one, embrace it and accept it, because the thing is, it happened already. There's no changing it. You can't go back. There's no erasing it from your memory. There's no erasing it from the timeline or whatnot. After you embrace it and accept it, I think the most important thing is for you to learn from it. Just reflect and just be like, okay, what happened? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What am I gonna do the next time it rolls around? At the end of the day, as long as you learn something and you're trying to be a better person through it, that's success. You're done. I mean, obviously you still have to work for it and like be a better person, but like, you get my point, right? So I have definitely reflected on a lot of my past mistakes, whether to other people or to myself, and I am slowly learning to just accept it and just reflect on it and use it as a learning experience, turning a negative into a positive. It's difficult, but it's doable. And also note that these things don't necessarily just go away. Just because you grew from it doesn't mean that when you think back on it, it's not going to hurt. Because when you think back on it, it still might sting, but it's going to sting a lot less. I am going to leave it at that. I think that today was a very productive day. We, you know, deep talked. Is that a word? I'm not sure if that's a word. But anyways, is talked is a word. Is it a word? Oh my god. I feel like my brain isn't working. But, you know, is it ever working? Questionable. I don't think so. Maybe. Who knows? I'm spiraling. Okay, I need to stop. So I will see you tomorrow for day 6, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!